welcome to Faith on the Water. Your host, the Riverdog Evangelist. So we are on the Muskingum River. The locks and canal are off to my right. How you doing, man? You catching anything? Where's your line at? I'm trying to stay out of it. Am I good? Okay, thank you. So we're on the Muskingum River. I'm going to be giving, this is a kind of a twofer. So this is not only a Faith on the Water podcast, but it's also a Lock 10 history podcast. So I'm going to be talking about both of them. The route for both of those are the same. So when I talk about the different things, you'll see that how it's going to lay out. I will spend more time with the Faith on the Water aspect when I'm coming downriver. But now I'll be talking about the Lock 10 History Tour. So the Lock 10 History Tour is something that I've been doing for a couple years now. And at first I did it with pt.1. We launched out of what is Weasel Boy Brewing, probably a mile upstream. We would float downstream. They are no longer in business. I actually put through over 100 people guided kayak tours through pt.1 and through the locks where you're going to see here in just a few minutes. So did that, over 100 people. He sold the business. Another group came along called Float the River. I've gotten to know them in the last year. Actually did some tours last year with them. They bought into it, thought it was a great idea. And so that being said, that's I want to continue that relationship. So I'm going to explain that a little bit more. They, I think, are expanding up into the Licking River. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen with them is that they're going to be working out of Licking County, but they're still going to allow me this platform, Lock 10 History Tour, Faith on the Water. So we've got to work out the deals in regards to that, but they're open to that. All of the booking will go through Float the River, and go to their website, look them up. They are an established business up on the Cuyahoga River. They're branching out down here in southeastern Ohio, and so I'm excited about what they're doing and what they propose to do up on the Licking River. So I actually working on putting together meetings with some of the county officials up in Licking County, and we'll be TJ and hopefully I and county officials will be meeting together and kind of going over what they can bring to Licking County in regards to a professional float kayak, tube, canoe platform to Licking County. They proved their success up on the Cuyahoga, so they just need to duplicate it down here. I hope to be able to work with them, have fun with them next summer. So that being said, I will be here. We will actually, so what I propose to do with my Lock 10 History Store, we will not be meeting up at the old, the brewery, Weasel Boy Brewery. We will be launching from Putnam Landing, where I just left and where you'll see again. And then what I'll do is I'll take care of getting the kayaks in the water, the equipment, PFD. This is a personal flotation device required for the float. and you'll kind of see why once we get into the lock. So the protocol will be safety talk, introduction, safety talk. I'll find out who has kayaked and who has not, who has experience, who's comfortable in a kayak. I've put all kinds of people in kayaks, first timers, experience. So what we'll do is we help each other out, put them out in the water. The experienced ones out in the water, they will paddle up to here, up to the island. If we tried to shoot straight across, we would get caught up in the current, end up downstream because the water's would hit us sideways. So logistically speaking, we will paddle right up to the island, and then we will cut straight across, as I'm doing now. And I'll put people ahead of me, people behind me. I don't know how many. I've done as many as 20, over 20, by myself. And that's kind of hairy, but I have done it. I'd like to limit the number of people that I take out by myself down to below 15. 12 would be perfect. I can manage 12 pretty easily. Communicate with 12. You get 20, people way over there, people there. My head's on a spindle, trying to figure out which way to go. You can see the water moving by me. Water's about maybe 2 miles per hour. River's down significantly. Second week of October, Saturday, southeastern Ohio, Muskingum County, Muskingum River. Muskingum River is 112 miles long. It's created by the Tuscarawas-Wallahonding River up in Coshocton. Flows all the way to Marietta. There were 11 locks built on the river in the 1830s. 10 were built on the river in the 1830s, and it's only 9 are left. This is number 10 right here. Number 11 is up north. It's no longer functional. The gates are falling in, and so that's kind of what's happening there. Number 1 no longer exists. They raised the water up on the Ohio River down at the Marietta, the number 1 Marietta lock, and they no longer needed it, so they dismantled that years ago. So the only ones left now are 2 through 9, and that would be Davola, Lowell, Beverly, Luke Chute, Stockport, McConnellsville, Rogeby, Philo, and number 10, Zanesville, where we're at right now. So I'll lead your 10 to 15 people across just like this. Give them directions, instructions every step of the way. Talk about the river. The river drops over 100 feet from here to Marietta, so that's significant. The dams create pools in the 10-mile pools. If there were no dams, this river would be half as wide, and it would be a beautiful river. It'd be a healthier river. That would be amazing to see. Right back behind me, there was actually a waterfall that water hasn't fallen over that waterfall since the 1830s, due to the fact of the dam here and dam down at Philo. So there was actually at one time in the 1820s and before, there's a 4 or 5 foot waterfall from what I've read right behind me. That would be an amazing thing to see. So I will instruct my participants to paddle straight for this wall. Your lock master is up above. Dan, what do you know? Good to see you. Last weekend, right? Don't open the gate. You opened the gate yet? Have you got the gate open? Good, okay. Thank you. I'm going to come right around and watch it open. Good deal. Dan's been with ODNR for several years. He's got his dream job, works by himself, maintains all this. I did this years ago, and I've done this numerous times. So as you come around the corner, you are seeing something that is crazy, and amazing. It is the opening of the locked doors. And so I will stop right here. Yep, go ahead and open her. I will instruct my participants to go ahead and I'll put 3 or 4 in, and then I'll wait back there a little bit. And then once I'm comfortable that I have more than half of my people in, I'll out there, follow them, follow them, follow them. And then I'll pick someone and kind of jump the line, and get inside the locked chamber. Now we were in the locked chamber. Understand this was built, what you were seeing here is built in the 1830s. The doors behind me weigh 20 to 30 tons. And so operated by one man with amazing using leverage. So the building of this is amazing. So I've had 20 kayaks in here. Been in here also with pontoon boats. So I instruct everybody to pull up, find a cable, grab the cable, loop around the cable, do not tie. See how that is? Has to be loose. You'll see why here in a minute. On one of my tours here last year, a young lady actually tied a knot, and looped it and was holding on. And everybody else, I went around, floated around, talked to them, loose, 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 right? And missed her. And all of a sudden, he opened the valves, and the valves are going to open up here in just a minute. It's the guillotine valves. Going to let the water in. He manages his water, and you see him working right behind me. He just dropped the valves, the doors. You'll hear him drop here in just a moment. Waiting. You'll hear a thump. Maybe he dropped them already. She had tied off. And then Dan started letting water in, and the water started to go up. Problem was, she was tied off and tied to her boat. So I said, you got a knife? No. So I went over and got to unloosen that. Just a loop. That's all you have to do. Good to go. He's acknowledging that I'm good to go. Everybody else is good to go. Everybody's holding on to a cable. And now he's going to open the valves, and you see the valves opening right now. Neat. This never gets old. I mean, it never gets... Anyway, I went over, floated over to her real quick, handed her my knife. She cut the rope, and then her kayak bobbled up, and oh my, got my blood pressure up. Look at the water coming through. That is amazing. And so there's a lot of water, and I don't know how much the cubic yards is going through. If you have gloves, you can do this. I kind of have no choice now because I just dropped my little tiny rope. He's opening the other valves up. So I'm going to get a little video of this. So he's letting the water in. The water's he opened the valves up pretty good. And he knows I'm safe. He's putting most of the water away from me, as you see. So he's maintaining how much water's coming in depending on the boaters inside. I've had as many, when I did this, I'd have 4 or 5 pontoons in here, bass boats, kayaks, wave runners. So that just kind of shows you you're seeing that. Now what you're experiencing here is, and I get all my guests to stay in the back. When I had 20, there'd be people go right up in the front, and I would call them back. I say, hey, I need you to come back here, please. Get away from all of that turbulence right there. When I had 20, it was definitely crowded. But it's manageable. Never had anybody to fall over or capsize. The only one who capsized was me. I kid you not. Had three pontoon boats in here with 20 other people. It was crazy. Everyone laughing at me, making fun of me. I'm just swimming around. Had this on, so I wasn't worried. Didn't have my phone on me. Again, wasn't worried. So the lock itself is 34, 36 feet wide, 160 feet long. Built in the 1830s, part of the Ohio Erie Canal. What we're doing right now, this is one of the only hand-operated operational system possibly in America. There are other locks built like this in Kentucky and I think Michigan and Illinois that are similar to this size. The Ohio Erie Canal was much smaller, but this was kind of built with, because the steam power was coming online, paddle wheels were coming online. When they initially built the Ohio Erie Canal, all they had was, when it was designed by the engineers, all they had was flatboats and keelboats. And they were pulled along and pushed along with long poles. And then paddle wheels, future, built something bigger to take on paddle wheels. So this was, paddle wheels were going through these locks all through the 1840s, 50s, 1860s, 70s, and 1880s, and 1900s. So you see him adjusting the water. He's keeping an eye on me, is what he's doing. Good to go. So you can see the water coming up if you look at the blocks on the side. So he's pulling water out of the other lock. This is something that can only be done, this is in the entire world. This is something that can only be done in the entire world right here in southeastern Ohio on the Muskingum River, Zanesville, Ohio. This is the only double hand-operated lock in existence. So when we give a Lock 10 history tour, I emphasize that if you're looking to check off a bucket list, this is one of those things that you can do. And you can look it up. All the bookings will go through Float the River. So you will reach out to them, coordinate with them, pay your fee. The cost, heck, I don't know. That's to be determined later. But what you're getting is a 4-hour tour, a 4-hour guided tour. Only place you can do it. And I've had all kinds of people go through. I had some ladies last year. They brought foldable kayaks. They were backpacking those things. And they come walking down, and I'm saying, well, what do you got going on here? And they had, you could see through the darn things. They unfolded those things and clip, clip, snap, snap. Pretty amazing. And so I was impressed, without a doubt. And kayaked with them, talked with them, got to know them. They had just come off the Colorado River for a tour. And I was amazed at that. I said, hey, what'd you pay for that? Thousands of dollars. It was like I think 8 or 9 day trip. So I meet all kinds of people, get to know them, introduce each other, find out where they've been. I love people's stories. Everybody has a story. And so I get with them and ask questions. Where are you from? How much? And then I ask them, is this worth it? And to a person, absolutely yes. So this podcast, so it'll be 4 hours out of your day, minus your travel time. Sun's coming up behind me. There's a moon up there. Take a look at that. Half moon. It's almost 11 o'clock in the morning. So you see him up there operating the valves again. So he's opened the valves up completely full. I'll talk with him. I always talk with him. His name's Dan. He takes care of us pretty good. Very gentle with us when I'm in here with kayaks. He understands the turbulence, understands when to do, how much to do. And so I spend my time talking about that. Muskingum River gets its name from two Native American terms. One in one language means swampy ground. The other means uh, Elk Eye River. Check me on that and let me know in the comments. But elk were numerous elk up and down this river in the way back when, 200 years ago. No elk now. No bison. So you see that we quieted down. Now we are about 8 feet higher than where we just were. I'm going to push off. I do not allow my guests to push off. I have them hold on the entire time for safety reasons. But I'm going to go ahead and Dan knows I'm good to go. So we're going to go look up close here. And you can see we are now about 8 feet higher than where we were. As you look out through those skeletized gates, people ask, "Well, how come the gates?" Well, they don't need to be. No need to build any more than you need to. So they didn't need to build them any higher than that. The water, when you flush, you can put water over top of those gates. So as you can see, as I kind of come up, you can look out over and see how much higher we are. There comes, okay, Dan's on the ball. So he's already opened the gate for me. $30-ton gates going into the second chamber. When I do the Lock 10 history tour, and as we're conversing, finding out where they've been, what they've done, where they've kayaked, and I've talked to people who have kayaked all over. When I first did this, and I proposed it to pt.1, a Lock 10 history tour, he said, "Will that work?" And I said, "Yeah, I think it will." And it did. Thanks, Dan. Your last weekend, right? Bummer, huh? Oh well, it'll be waiting for you next spring. So we get to repeat this process. And I'm looking for the cables. I'm instructing my participants to saddle up close to a cable. Loop your cable around. You see the gate closing behind me. So he takes care. The canal is a mile long. So he takes care of mowing, weed eating, maintaining. I used to do that. Loved it. Worked by myself. Talked to a lot of people because a lot of people would come down. You just heard the valve shut right there. So that door went, guillotine valves shot right down. He's going over to the other side, and you'll see him up there, or you'll hear, just shut the other one. I can only imagine what a stern wheeler would look like going through one of these locks, heading upriver or heading downriver to deliver goods and people. You have to remember, 1830s, that was the fastest mode of transportation. So the keel boats and the flat boats, they could haul 20 or 30 tons of goods through the Ohio-Erie Canal. And then the stern wheelers came along. Of course, they can haul not only goods, but they can haul people. And that's what they did. And they would stop at different places. The railroads, of course, were making an impact. And so there's the valve opening up again. putting all the water on the left side so that he doesn't cause any turbulence for me. So in the Loch 10 history tour, we'll talk about the history of the area, the history of the region. This was part of the Underground Railroad. All rivers were part of the Underground Railroad, and they would come up from Virginia at that time, West Virginia years later, but they would come up out of Virginia, across the Ohio River, and then they're making their way as far north to Cleveland, Freedom, or not Cleveland, Canada, Freedom, the best they could. Now, Ohio had some kind of an agreement, and I forget what it is, that slave hunters could travel up into Ohio, capture a runaway slave from down south, and by law, transport them back. And so as a result, the Underground Railroad, it was a series of people all along the Muskingum River, the Scioto River, the other rivers that were headed dumping into the Ohio River. So there were a number of different places that you could hide. People would hide you all along the river, help you out, and then allow you to be able to move north, contacts along the way. So it was part of again, Underground Railroad. People stopping off down south and down in what's now Devola, Lowell, Beverly, Stockport. The further north they made it, the more they were able to breathe a sigh of relief, I'm guessing. So quite noisy. My very first job was as a lock tender back in 1978. Run the Philo locks. And so I talk about that during my Loch 10 history tour. I give a little bit of my bio. That was my first job. Then I went and worked as a dredge operator. So as a dredge operator, I put out buoys and took buoys out and moved buoys. And then we had a barge with a Northwest crane, 60-foot boom. Had the tug, Miss Kit, I think it was named. And we'd push that thing up and down the river. We'd stop at the locks. I'd jump in the crane, pull the spuds up, secure the spuds, get position, put the spuds back down, and then and you can see the water. Got another foot, so the water's a foot deeper on the other side. The water and pressure pushing against those gates are crazy. So he has to wait until this equalizes with that. So now we are another 8 feet higher than we were back there. Emphasize again. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. Emphasize again that this is the only place that you can do this in the world. So he walked across the gates, looked at the water. He has a pretty good educated eye on what to do, when to do, and you know what to do by sight, and you know what to do by sound. This lock may or may not, it'll give a crack, and when it would crack, kind of releasing pressure, equalizing and releasing pressure, I would know, well, okay, that's time for me to get close to the valve up there. And eventually I want to do a walkthrough with up top. So I want to do a podcast up top. We're still on the Loch 10 history tour segment. A reminder that the Faith on the Water segment, and I've led groups as well, the Faith on the Water segment will be more faith oriented. Right now I'm just focusing on the history of the tour. and you see the crack, and you can actually see about a half-inch water on the other side coming through. I'm going to go ahead and paddle up to the railroad bridge, and I'm going to paddle up to the railroad bridge. So I'm a good half hour before I come back. I'll hit my horn just to let you know. Hey man, thanks. Man, ain't it beautiful out? Beautiful out, isn't it? Yeah. You go to get any traffic today? That's something. He said, I'm it today, more than likely. And what people do, if pontoons are coming along, they have his personal telephone number. I still get people calling me personal telephone number when I work Joe's cell number. Hey, is Locks open today? I go, man, I haven't been there in a year or two. Oh, okay, man, I'm sorry. And so they correspond with him and let him know, says, hey, so-and-so, he knows his boaters. And okay, and they'll let him know 3 pontoons coming down, we're headed to. And then I don't know how many I used to put people up through. They were heading up to, going north, heading up to Terry's Tavern. So that's a drinking establishment, right up in this pool. They go up, they have docks, people would go in, spend an hour. After I got to know them, I said, hey, can I put an order in with you guys? Sure, what do you need, man? What do you want? I don't know. Hamburger and fries. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll get it. No, Jimmy, they fell all over themselves feeding me. So that was always neat. So I could always, if I knew people were coming, I didn't do that very often, but a couple times. So then the stern wheeler would head right out here. The house right here, built early 1900s by the Army Corps of Engineers. That's the lock house. And I've heard they're going to tear it down, and that would be a shame. So 1913 flood pretty much devastated the lock system all over Ohio. That was the beginning of the end of the 1913 flood. Water was up to just below the porch thing right there, just below the porch, up above the first story windows. That's how high the water was in 1913. Flooded Zanesville. There was loss of life throughout. Blew out every bridge on the Muskingum River in 1913. Cincinnati, Dayton, Springfield, that area over there where you have the Mad River, the Little Miami River, and the Miami River. All of that watershed was just terrible flooding all along the Ohio River, all the way down. 1913 flood was a watermark, pun intended, a watermark, historical, because it was the beginning of the end. The Army Corps of Engineers then came in and cleaned out the locks, built lock houses up and down the river, knowing that, now this is 1913, so the main mode of transportation at that time in 1913 was rail and water. Henry Ford hadn't come along and really made an impact on road transportation as far as wheeled transportation with internal combustion engine. I mean, it was happening, but that was yet to take hold. So the Army Corps refurbished the lock system, and by then river traffic, as far as moving goods and people, was not as efficient as rail and road. Fifth Street Bridge here. And when I do the the Lock 10 History Tour, whether it be Lock 10 History Tour or Faith on the Water, we will go up to the Y Bridge. I'm not going to go to the Y Bridge now. The canal's a mile long. I'm guessing probably 5 feet deep right now. Don't know. Let me check. No, it's deeper than 5. Yep, just hit bottom, so it's no more than 6 feet deep. When I led Faith on the Water tours, one church group was, gosh, I think there was 40 people, and we had a great time. Paddled along in kayaks, and some of them had tubes, a couple tubes, mostly kayaks, and we stopped along the way. We were up on the Licking River, put in at Dillon Falls, and paddled down to Weasel Boy, so it wasn't this, and had a wonderful time. That was with the Rock. Aaron Wall is the minister there, doing a great job. Good man, good family. Grew up with them all. Good God-fearing people. So we had a great time, and with the Faith on the Water. And what I propose to do is to reach out to reach out to churches, direct them to my podcast, my Faith on the Water podcast. And this podcast pretty much serves as an advertisement. Hey, how you guys doing? Serves as a pitch to all of the youth ministers and adventure seekers in Ohio that want to do this once in a lifetime event. And if you look above, you can see we're underneath the bridge. This bridge is made to lift. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 shackles over there. So this bridge, when they built it, they engineered it for that section above my head to be lifted up in order to accommodate a larger vessel, whether it be a sternwheeler or something like that, a barge, to be able to navigate up through. The railroad bridge that's up ahead, that one swings. And then the Y bridge, which we're not going to make it up there, the Y bridge also lifts, and there's another railroad bridge up there that lifts as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paddle up to the railroad bridge and then turn around, give Dan a break. He's got to mow all that off to the left. And what I'll do with the Lock 10 History Tour, I'll be fielding questions. People ask a lot of questions. They're interested in and maybe the region. All I do is kind of do an introduction and any questions. And sure as anything, someone's got a few questions. So I'll repeat the question, answer the question to the best of my ability. We'll talk about it some more, then I'll talk to them about where they've been, what they've done, what is their life story. The other aspect that I want to address as I paddle along is the whole idea of mental health. On my last podcast, where was I? Forget where I was, but I talked about the whole idea, and this will be a theme that I'll visit and revisit again and again, and I'll talk more about that when I get back down in the lock chamber and head back down river. But one of the things that we can do, we're living in a crazy world that is just full of intense stress and complications, and there's just so much out there, so many distractions. We have this instant knowledge or instant news or instant events that we hear about, and we're bombarded by it. Whether it's a tragedy, there's a terrible tragedy. I'm not going to mention any details because I don't know anything, but I read about it last night, and terrible situation, loss of life. And it only happened yesterday. It happened, so this is Saturday. It happened Thursday night, this event. And then I found out about it that Friday afternoon. And it's heartbreaking. I read the comments, and I don't want to read anymore. Oh, what do we? I see something up here that I might. Is that the? Almost looks like something's parked in the water. I think it's the barge. As I go up and nose around that. It's owned by Ohio Department of Natural Resources. I used to run that. Used to do that. Yeah, it is. It's the barge is parked in the canal. That's cool. That being said, this is one of the ways that you can kind of unhook from the hurtful, confusing distractions of life. I guess I am going up to the Y Bridge. Why not? Haven't got anything else to do. Well, I do. My other platform that I kind of established a year or so ago is called Riverdog Adventures. And so that's a kind of a side platform, side segment. And I floated the rivers all over Ohio. Like I said, I'm worked for Department of Natural Resources for 30 years, dredge operator or statewide dredge supervisor for a number of years. So I've been on all of the most all of the rivers and lakes in Ohio at one time or another, and seen a lot of stuff, a lot of sights. So my intent is to revisit those areas with my Riverdog Adventures. So let's say, for example, you are pick a river, Little Miami River, over in Greene County area, Dayton, Springfield area. You have a group and you want a guided tour. I've been on that river. There are a number of liveries over there.